Okay. So now we'll go into the DFF and EFF part. So first we will just create a, okay, in our yesterday session, we have discussed about the differences between the DFF, descriptive flex fields, and extensible flex fields. So for first, we'll just create a descriptive flex fields. So as I said, the descriptive flex field is not specific to item class. It is common across all the item. We can just create some context specific descriptive flex fields we can create, or some global descriptive flex fields also we can create. So that's what I'm going to do now. So now let me go to setup and maintenance, and then in setup and maintenance, we can go into product management. You can search for descriptive. Okay. You'll be able to find manage item descriptive flex field. You can see the descriptive flex field is available in almost all the pages. Unit of measure descriptive flex field, item class, item revision, item relationship, trading partner, supplier, catalog, category, item structure. So in almost all the pages, you will be able to see the descriptive flex field. So similar to that, we have the descriptive flex field in item. If you understand how to create the DFF for item, so it's common for all the setup, the configuration wise, it is the same. So now let me go into manage item descriptive flex field. So in the item descriptive flex field, first thing is we have to click on edit. So this is the descriptive flex field, EGP system items _ DFF. So click on edit. But before start to edit, just check whether the deployment status is deployed. In case if you see it as an error, or it is now undeployed, or if it is in draft status, mostly it will be in draft status, or it will not be undeployed. It's called draft status. If it is in draft status, means someone have edited it. It will be in edited status also. I think it's edited status only. It is anything other than deployment status as deployed. You should be careful because someone might be doing some configuration changes. Make sure no other person is modifying it, because if someone is doing some changes and they are assigning to a particular column and you are also trying to assign to a particular same column, then that will create a issue, and then it will go into an error. DFF will go into an error. So make sure before you start this activity, the deployment status is deployed. Then you click on edit. Okay, here you can create the descriptive flex field. So there are two types of descriptive flex fields is there. One is called as the global attributes, and second one is called as a context specific attribute. Global attributes will be applicable for all the item. If you have 1 lakh item, for all the 1 lakh items, this global attributes will come. Let's take an example of GST percentage. So for all the item, the GST percentage will be there. So for an item, it will be 5%, another item, it will be 12, another item, it will be 18. So for all the item, at least one GST percentage should be there. Or it will be VAT percentage. In some countries, it is only VAT. In some countries, it is GST. So at least you can, or else you can just put tax percentage. You can just create a field called tax percentage. Now let me just create a field called tax percentage. Okay, tax percentage for that particular item. I just want to create this a field, tax percentage, and then the code and then the API name will be auto generated. You don't want to enter it, just give a tab. So code name and then API name will be auto generated. This API name is used basically for when you call the REST API from any other application to get the value of this field, you have to refer to the tax percentage with small tax and then capital P percentage. So you have to call the same name. So that API name will be auto generated. We don't want to generate it. So I have entered the description, data type, whether this is a character or number or date and time. So let me select it as number. And then here you can see, here only we have to select the value set. So value set is a mandatory field. So the value set, it can have a list of value, or it can just validate whether it's a number or it's a character, or it can even pull the value from a table. So all options are available. So now if you want to create a value set, you have the option to create a value set here itself. So click on create value set. And then you can create a value set code, which is B30. Okay, B30 tax percentage value set. This is the name I'm just giving. So let me just give the same description. Module, you can select maybe product management. Okay, that's the module. So here the module is required because whenever you just export the configuration, so you'll select a specific module and then export the configuration. So if you select them, if you select it as product management, and when you just export the configuration for the product model, then all this value sets also will be copied. Value set also will get migrated. So that's why we need to basically link it to a specific module. So then validation type, here you can see these are the different validation types are there. Format only will validate whether the particular field is 30 character or 10 character or 15 character. That is the check it will do, whether it is a number or it's a character. If it is independent, then you can provide a list of value. Okay, this is the list of value, and based on which any one of the value they can select. If it is dependent, this is something when you go and fill any form, it is asking for a state and then country. Based on the country which you select, the state will be listed. So that is a dependent value set. So based on value of another value set, the value of this particular value set will be coming. So that is the dependent value set. And then we have a subset. Even I have not used the subset. We have a table thing is there. This table is used basically in SQL. You can write your SQL, select maybe tax percentage from so and so table. Likewise, in a table, if you have the tax percentages available, then you can just write an SQL query. Based on that SQL query, it will just bring all the values. So that is also possible. So this is a table based value set. These many options are there. You can select independent in case if you want to give a list of values. So value data type is character or number. Let me select it as number. And then here, let me select the precision. So precision may be 2, and then scale you can give it as 2, which means precision means how many a total number of digits user can enter. So 2 means maximum 2 digits only user can enter. Scale means after the decimal point, how many values should be coming. That is the scale. Then minimum value and maximum value you can give. So now let me click on save, and then we can enter the value. Okay, so now let me enter the value, click on manage values. Let us create a value. First I will create a value called 5%, 12% and 18%. So 4 values I want to give, or 3 values I can give. It's loading. Okay, here I will give 3, okay, is maybe 5%. Okay, let me just create 2 more. Another one is okay. This is okay. This is a number only, right? So you cannot enter a character. So that's why it's giving an error. So now let me create a new, and then I'll give maybe 12% and 18%. Okay. Since we have given the precision as 2, 5.00 is coming. It's not a problem. We can just continue. The value for is not a valid number. The value must precision not greater than 2 on scale of 2. Okay. So there is a problem here. So since we have given the precision as 2, maximum 2 character only we can enter, right? So let me just give it as 5. So maximum 5 character we can enter now. So when it is 2.00 means it's becoming 4 numbers is coming. So that's why it's giving an error. So now let me just enter it as 5. 5, and here I'll just give it as 5%. Let me just click on create. I'll give 12%. And let me create one more row. and I'll give 18%. Okay, now let me click on save and close. Okay, page is not responding. Are you able to hear me?
Here,
Yes, Ram.
Okay. Something have happened. I'm unable to use. So in case if we have saved the deployment status, we'll have moved to deploy like edited status. Now I think there's nothing got saved. So it did not do anything. So now let me just, we have to create it once again. Just give it a tax percentage. You can see when I select test number, the table column will be automatically attribute underscore number 1. So in the same table, EGP system items B attribute underscore number 1 will be occupied for that one. So it is like B29. I think it is here. It will be available. I think. Let me just query it. And because I have clicked on save, let me just check if there is a value which got created. Okay, it is not created. No issues. If you don't give the scale, or else if you give the scale as 0, then what will happen? It will not accept any decimal places. Mostly for the tags and all, we will not give decimal places. I'm not giving any decimal place now. So once again, I will just create a new row. So here I will give it as 5 percentage, 8 percentage. Okay, now let me click on save again. I think there is some problem in this page.
what is that error message?
No, it is saying the page is not responsive.
Can you do one more time, please?
Or else I'll do one thing. I'll do it in a different browser because sometime. Let me just try it from another browser. Even you can just create a value set and values directly also. That is also possible. So here you can just create a value set. Here you can just search it with value set. So from that page you can create, or you can see manage product and child value set or SCM common value set. So here you can go into this page, and here also you can just create a value set and then you can attach it over there. That option, that also you can follow. So now let me just create a value set. You can just give it as B29 underscore tax percentage value set. Value set already exists. Okay, somehow it got saved. So now let me just give it as 1. This time it got saved, I think. But the values, I'm not sure whether it is saved or not. So I'm just creating a new one. Number. And then just precision is 5, scale is 0. Then let me just click on save. Manage values. I think this time it got saved. Okay, save and close. So we have created a value set now. So we can just attach the value set in the. We can attach the value set. So let me just go to item manage item descriptive flex fields. Okay, let me search for the value set. That value set should be available over here. Let us just query. I doubt we have given it as B30 or B29.
29. 29 you are given.
Okay. Okay, B29 value set.
Second one, yes.
The numbering I have just confused it. No problem. Okay, so we have created a value set. Now let me select. You can see automatically the display type is also displayed as list of values. When we select the, based on the value set, in the value set, if it is mentioned as independent, which means automatically the display type will become a list of value. You can enter the list of value. So size you can give maybe 10, height is 1. So size is 10 means a 10 character level size will be displayed, the field size. So you can see this particular length is big, but this length default type is small. So likewise, what should be the length of that particular field that you can give? And then you can give a definition help text and instruction help text. Definition help text will just like it will be displayed. The instruction help text will be displayed as a dotted line under that particular field. So here I'm just giving okay, B30 example, okay, example instruction help text I'm just giving. Similar to that, let me just give for definition help text. Definition help text. Likewise, you can give. Now, lastly, you can see BI enabled. If this option is enabled, then only in the BI publisher you will be able to use this field for reporting. If this is disabled, then this field value will not be available in the BI publisher reporting. This functionality is common for all the DFF, all modules, everything. So now I have created a descriptive flex field. Now let me click on save and close. You can see B30 tax percentage is the DFF which we have created. And this is a global DFF, which means all the item this is applicable. And then we have a context specific descriptive flex field we can just create. Context specific descriptive flex field. So for that, if we want to create a context specific descriptive flex field, then we have to create it over here. Okay, so now I'm just thinking. Okay, so here you can see manage context. First we need to create a context and then we have to create. For an example, you are creating two items. One is laptop, another one is printer. Yesterday we have discussed about that. If you want to maintain the laptop related attribute, you can select you can select the context as laptop, and then you give the laptop attributes. If you give it as printer, then printer specific attributes. Likewise, let me just create two contexts. Let me go to manage context. Here I will just create two contexts. One is printer, another one is laptop. Okay, let me just create the first thing. So which is B30 underscore printer. This is the first display name, printer, and then let me click on save, and we have to create the context segments. Okay, let me create a segment over here. The segment will again create the same kind of attribute. Here we can just give it as B30 underscore maybe color option. Okay, B30 underscore color option. Here this time what I'm saying, I'm selecting it as character, and then I'm not entering any value set. You can see when I select it as character, it will become attribute 3. Attribute 1, attribute 2 is already used in the global segment, so attribute 3 is displayed over here. I think we have used attribute underscore number 1, but already attribute 1 and 2 is used for some other attribute. So that's why attribute 3 is defaulted. If you have any questions, stop me. Now let me select, maybe there are some seeded value sets are there called 30 character, which means it can enter, we can enter maximum 30 characters. So such things are there. Let me just search it. Okay, you can see some GL 100 character is there. So these are all basically some other value sets which are there, in which it will just allow us to enter maximum 100 character. So 100 character free text with no validation. So I have just entered that value set. Here you can see it became a text box. I'll enter the display size as 20, height is 1, and then let me click on save and close. So I have added color option. B30 color option is the segment under the B30 context, B30 printer context. Similar to that, I will create one more context. This laptop context. B30 underscore laptop context. So for this, I will create an attribute called maybe processor or RAM. Here I just created as B30 underscore laptop underscore RAM. I'm just creating this attribute. Data type is character, and then this time also for the value set I am selecting, and you see, since it is a context specific attribute, the same attribute can be used again and again, because for one item only one context can be selected. So you can select laptop or printer. So if you select laptop and enter some value and save it, again you come back to the item, change it to printer, and again you enter some value and save it, it will be overwritten on the same attribute. So in the context specific attribute, context specific DFF value, the same backend attribute column will be used again and again. In global segment, we cannot reuse. In context specific segment, we can just reuse it. Again, let me use the GL 100 characters, laptop RAM. So display size is 20, height is 1. Let me click on save and close. So I have created one global segment and two context specific segment and two context, one attribute in each segment. So we have created two segment. So now you can see the context. If it is B30 laptop, it is B30 laptop RAM is the attribute. If I select the context as printer, you can see B30 color option is the attribute. So we have created all the DFF attributes, one global segment and then two context specific segment. Now let me click on save and close. So till this point, anyone have any questions? Is everything clear?
Ram, we cannot create new.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Can we create a new flexi fields? But here we are using the existing one, the seeded one.
No, we have created all new. So where we use this seeded one?
No. This EGM system items. This is the default one, correct?
You cannot
the seeded
create
one.
a flex field. You cannot create a flex field. You have to use the existing one only. You come to the
in
manager.
the real project also.
Yeah. In the real when you get a very fresh instance also, this EGP system items underscore DFF will come by default in all the instance. Even in a fresh instance, you will have it. You should not modify this.
Okay.
So
we cannot do customization also.
No, you cannot do customization here. And may know why do you want to create a new flex field here? We have to create the field only. We don't have any need to create a new flex field name over here.
Okay. Inside that we can create the descriptive.
Correct. Inside that you can create your n number of descriptive flex field, global segment and context specific segments.
Okay. Thank you.
Fine. So yeah, no problem. So now you can see the deployment status is edited. Now you can see deployment status is edited. You have to click on deploy flex field. It will not take much time, maximum 30 seconds. This will get deployed and then immediately it will be available. You can see it got deployment completed successfully. In case in the global segment you try to use for two different fields, you try to use the same column, then it will throw you an error, or the deployment will complete in error. It will show the error and warnings over here. So in other cases, when you have a proper classification of columns, then it will not give an error. Just click on OK. So now the deployment status is succeeded, deployed. Okay. So now let me.
Quick question here. Is there any way that if something went wrong, can we undeploy it again?
No, it will not get deployed. If something is wrong, it will not get deployed. You have to correct the issue and again you have to deploy it again.
Okay.
There is no option called undeploy.
Okay. If that well said. Okay, if it is done proper success and everything is been deployed. Now we wanted to change something else. So can we undeploy it and edit the thing context and redo
again
it?
you can modify it and again you can deploy it.
Okay.
there is like unfreeze or undeploy option is not at all available. You can go and modify it. Again, you can just deploy it once again.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey,
So now,
Ram, when you
yeah.
say that deploy means where it will exactly deploy?
Okay, you can see that changes in the front end.
Okay, so it will
You
be.
see, now I'm going into, okay, yesterday we have created a user, right? It's not yesterday. We have created a user called B20 or B30. Yeah, B30 PIM manager. We have created it, right? B30 PIM manager. Welcome at 123. So let me just log in into this user. Why is it? Is this the one?
This is the same for every user. It is getting authentication filed.
It went in. So maybe underscore. B30 underscore PIM underscore manager. Password is welcome 123 W caps. Let me just write it once again for you.
I think last time when you mentioned it is welcome at 234, I believe.
No. I have never used welcome at 234. It's always welcome at 123 only. Maybe I'm not sure whether I have misspelled it or something. It's underscore PIM. Okay, B30 underscore PIM underscore MGR. This is the user. You can use it. Maybe I'll ping it to you. Just note it down. This is the one I have used and I'm able to log in. Okay. So now let me go to product management. But one thing, whenever you make any changes to the DFF or EFF, you have to clear the cache. You have to clear the cache. So let me first go into the product management, product information management. In case we already logged into the same user and then you try to view that item, it will not display the new attribute which you have created. So always, whenever you make any DFF or EFF changes, sign out, go to browser history, clear the cache, and then once again you log in, then only you will be able to see the changes. Now I'm going into the item which we have created already. Let's take this item B30 first item one. Let me open that item. You will be able to see the new attributes which we have created should be available. So go to specifications. In the specifications, if you go into additional attributes, you can see additional attributes. This is the area. Click on additional attributes and then you can see B29 tax percentage. It's a global attribute which is available for all the item. It will be available. So when you click on this drop down, you will be able to see the 5% and 8% which you have given is available over here. You can select one of the percentage. And then we have a context over here. Click on this context. You can see B30 laptop and B30 printer is there. Select the laptop, B30 laptop. It will give you B30 laptop RAM attribute. Here you can just maybe enter 2 GB RAM. Likewise, you can enter it. And then you can save this particular item. Now, if you go into the backend and query it, in attribute underscore number 1, the value will be 5. And if you go into attribute 3, the value will be 2 GB because this is a character one, 2 GB. Value will be 2 GB. And if I select it as printer, and then you can see the B30 color option will be there. Here, maybe if I give it as black and white. And then if I save it, what will happen? The value in the attribute 3 will be overwritten as BW instead of 2 GB. So the context specific segment will use the same attribute, and whenever you just update that item, it will be overwritten. So for one item, you can use maximum one context in the descriptive flex field. That is a drawback of descriptive flex field. Okay. So do you understand how to set up the descriptive flex field and what is the drawback in this? Any questions with respect to DFF, you let me know. Then we will go into the EFF, extensible flex fields.
But Ram, now you did set up. So how do we go and search it? As we were telling that we can do certain things only for string to search it, DFF, an item.
Okay. So if you want to search an item, for example, you want to search based on the, for example, you want to search what are all the item which is having maybe this B30 color option. Using this, if you want to search the item. So then let me just save and close. So in the manage items page, you have an option to add the fields. So click on add fields over here. You can just search the attribute. You can see B29 tax percentage, and then let me just query this B30% and search. You see, this global segments only is visible in the attribute, but this context specific segments are not visible. Only the global segment is visible. Here you can see if I search it with B30, you are not able to see the context specific segment. Even this global segment, this is the first time I'm seeing it. Because earlier even the global segment is not visible in the DFF. The DFF attributes is not at all visible in the search area. That is not possible earlier. Maybe in recent versions they have just brought this, they have just resolved this issue. Because earlier when we design the solution, we are unable to see that attribute, and because of that, because we have just confirmed the client based on that. But now maybe recently they have brought in only the global segment, we are able to see it. So here you can see B29 percentage. If you search it, B29 tax percentage attribute is, we are able to see it. So let me just click on OK, and then you can, that attribute will be added over here. What happened? Actually, we have to first add the field, then only you can see, select that and then click on add. That attribute will be added over here, then click on OK. So then only that attribute will be added in the search area. So here you can just search that area. Here you have the two value 5 and 8. So select it as 5 and then you just search for that particular, click on search. You can see this particular item, B30 first item, for which we have added that value. So that item is displayed. So this is only for global attribute. We are able to search it, but the context specific values we could not search it.
So in other words, only the parent can be seen here.
No, not the parent. It's a global attribute. There is no parent-child relationship in DFF. It's only a global segment, global attribute, or a context specific attribute.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now we have added the attribute. So now the next thing which we need to do, which is to add the EFF. Now we'll go into the EFF concept. That will not take much time. If you know the DFF part, EFF is very, very simple. When compared to DFF, we need to do little more steps on the EFF part. So let me just compare the DFF steps and then the EFF steps. So now you let me know.
You're creating on a different Excel sheet. Do you have the other sheet which you were yesterday? You have already done it.
Yeah, so that is in another laptop. Maybe I need to let me just update it over there. I have to just set up some VPN, so I'm using a different laptop.
Okay.
So here you can see the DFF. You have what are all the steps which we followed? Can you just let me know? Let me just put, first we have to create a context. Then second step we have to create attribute, and then the third step is directly we just did the deploy. That's all. We just did the deploy. Only 3 steps. Very simple. Create context, create attribute under that, and then deploy it. But in EFF, we have little more steps. So here also you need to create a context, but you can create n number of contexts similar to DFF. In EFF, you can create n number of contexts, For each and every context, you have to create the attribute. And then you can just attach context to item class. This is an additional step. Then attach, and then you have to create a page. Create a page, then attach context to page, and then you have to deploy. That's all. Okay, you have 3 more steps additionally you have to perform. Creation of a context, creation of attribute is same. You have to attach the context to the item class. So this is where we are saying for each and every item class we will attach n number of context. So all the n number of context and its attributes will be displayed for that item. So for a specific item, only the specific item class related context and context specific attributes only will be displayed. We don't want to select the context. Based on the item class which we select, automatically the context will be selected and the corresponding attribute will be displayed in the item. And this page is we have to create a separate page to display. So in DFF, it will be coming in the additional attribute. That will be a default page created by Oracle to display all the additional attribute. But for the EFF, we have to create a page for that. So that's what we are going to do now. So now let me just go into setup and maintenance. In setup and maintenance, I will go into where is it? I will go into extensible flex field. So if you want to create the extensible flex field, first, okay, just search it with extensible. Okay, extensible. You will be able to see deploy item extensible flex field. From there also you can just create. Or there is another setup called attribute group. Just search it with attribute group. You will be able to find manage item attribute groups and attributes. So this is the setup where you have to.
If you don't mind,
Sorry,
if
you're breaking in the middle. Sorry.
Ram?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. If you don't mind, can you please go with navigation instead of searching?
Sorry, I don't know the navigation exactly. Always use this one, search task.
Okay.
Go by the navigation, we cannot remember all those under navigations. So we have a search option is there. It will be, Oracle will not remove it, no worries about it. Just use the search and go for it. Okay. Okay. So now let me just go to manage item attribute groups and attributes. So here you just create a attribute group. So this is attribute group and context. Both
you have to create
the same. Yeah, attribute group and context both are one and the same. So in some places it will be called attribute group, in some places it is called context. So don't get confused with that. Both are same. Attribute group and context both are same. So now create an attribute group. Okay. So now let me just create an attribute group called B30 underscore. Here I'm just creating an attribute group called laptop. Okay. I'm just creating an attribute group called laptop attributes. Okay. B30 laptop attributes. So API name, everything we can just add it, description, then click on save. And one more difference between DFF and EFF is EFF can be translatable. You can, for example, if a Chinese user logs in, if it is a DFF, he will see only in English. But the EFF is translatable. You can just click on translatable, and you can, on the right up, you will be able to see the translation editor where you can give translation for all the fields as well. So instead of B30 laptop attribute, so you can just convert that into Chinese character and you can just pass that value in the translation. So when anyone logged in Chinese user, logged in with Chinese language, they will be able to see in Chinese. That is possible. So behavior is single row or multi-row. Select it as a single row. I'll come to what is a multi-row shortly. So I'll select as single row, then click on save. Then add the attribute over here. Okay, so we have to select the context where this particular attribute need to be used, whether it is at the item level or item revision level or item supplier level. We have to select it. So now let me select it as at the item level. So at the item level, I'm just selecting, and here you can see we can select master to child organization. When we update this value in the master or at the child organization, whether it should be defaulted or inherited. Defaulted means the value will be available in the child org item. You can modify it. If it is inherited, the value will be just available in the child org and which cannot be updated. Inherited means the same value will be followed in all the organization. So then a view privilege and then the edit privilege is there. Here, if in the view privilege, like here we can select, we can create a custom privileges in security console, and we can set up, we need little bit of technical knowledge for that to do that custom privileges. So we can create a custom privileges and we can attach it, and we can associate this privilege to some role. So only the person who have that particular privilege will be able to update that attribute. Others cannot update the attribute. If you give it as none, everyone will be able to update the attribute. So now let me click on save, and then I will click on, let me just create an attribute. I'll create the attribute call. So here I'm just creating B30 underscore. This is a laptop attribute, right? So B30 underscore RAM. I'm just creating an attribute called B30 underscore RAM. And then data type is character. Table column, you can see it will become attribute underscore character. Now you see the difference. There in the DFF, what is the attribute which is selected? In DFF, what is the column name? Are you able to hear me?
Okay.
Sorry, like is the line clear or?
What is that you're asking, Ron?
No, what I'm asking is in the DFF, what is the table column name which got defaulted when I selected as character?
This one.
It's attribute 1.
Okay.
It's attribute 1, but here it will be attribute underscore character 1 because this is saved in a different table altogether. It's not saved in the item table itself. You can select a value set. Here you can select a value set like 30 character or something, because again I don't want to show you those value set creation. Value set creation is same here also. Just you can just use the maybe 30 character or something. Let me enter, maybe this any option you can select. Just enter, maybe you can enter 100 characters. Then give this display size, height, all those things. Then click on save and close. I have created one context. I have created a context called B30 laptop attributes, and I have created an attribute and attached it to the item. So now let me just click on save and close. Similar to that, we need to create one more context I will create, and then one more attribute group I will just create. So now let me just create P30 underscore printer attributes. Printer attributes. Let me create a context. Let me create an attribute. I will just give it as B30 underscore, and this is printer, right? So maybe this color option. I'm just creating the same thing, color option. And then data type is character. Table column will be same for each and every context. Same column will be used, but it will not be replaced because for every context a new row will be created in the EFF table. So the value will not be replaced. And then value set, I will just use the same value set. So size is 21, and then click on save and close. So I have created two contexts, and then under each context I have created an attribute. But what I'm going to do next activity is, we have created a context, we have created an attribute, then attach the context to the item class. This activity we need to do. So now let me go into the manage item classes. Manage item class. In the manage item class, we can just attach it to a specific item class. We have this electronic item class, right? Let me go to B30 electronic item class. And then here I can go into pages and attribute groups. Here I can attach that context. First, let me go to attribute group, click on select and add. Maybe here I'm just attaching only laptop attributes, B30 percentage. Let me attach only the laptop attributes, okay? Laptop attribute, apply, then okay. Okay, first let me save it. So I have attached the attribute group or context to the item class. Then I need to create a page. Okay, so the page also I'll create with the same name. I'll just create it with B30 underscore laptop underscore attribute underscore page. This is the name I'm just giving. This name will be available in the front end. When you want to see this attribute, you have to enter in the front end. You have to see this particular name. I might need another 10 minutes. I'll complete this topic. At the item level, I'm just attaching. Click on OK. Then let me save it. I have to then finally last step. I have to attach the context. I have to attach the context to the page. So I have attached the attribute group or context in this item class. Then I created a page. Now I have to attach once again. I have to attach that context, which is B30 laptop attributes. Okay, I have attached the context. Let me click on save, and then I'll just click on save and close. That's all. So we have created all the configuration. Now the last activity is to deploy. So I have created two contexts. I have attached only one context to the item class, and then I have created one page, and then I have attached that context to the page. So the another context whichever I created is there, but I have not attached it to any item class. So you won't be able to see that in front end. If you attach it to some other item class, then in that item class only those attributes will be displayed. Okay. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate. Now I have created all the configuration. Now I have to go into deploy item extensible flex fields. Go to deploy item extensible flex fields. And then here you can just search for the flex field. EGO, percentage and search. In the flex field code, you can search it with EGO. You'll be able to see EGO item EFF. This also will come as a seeded thing. You don't want to create, or you cannot create a extensible flex field code. We have to use this one. Here you can see deployment status is edited. When you create a new item class or when you create a new context, then automatically it will go to edited status. Then now we have to click on deploy flex field. So for the DFF, it will take only less than 30 seconds, even if you have 1 lakh item. It will not take much time. But this EFF, based on the number of items which is there, that much time it will consume, because in the separate table, that many number of rows it need to create. If you have 1 lakh item, in the system, and you are creating 10 context, then 1 lakh into 10 lakh rows need to be created in the another should be created in another table. So it will take quite a lot of time. So it is advised to create the attribute group and deploy it before you load the item. Okay. So now let me click on deploy flex field. And when you have more number of item, you have to use the deploy offline. The deploy flex field will not work. You have to use the second option called deploy offline. For example, you already created 10,000 item, and whatever changes you are doing is going to affect many items. Then the system will not allow you. You have to use the second button called deploy offline. So now it will allow, because we have just 2-3 items, so it will allow. So this deployment will take a couple of minutes, and then once this is done, you can just clear the cache and then log in back into the system to see the attributes. So now you let me know if you have any questions. You let me know. It will take 2-3 minutes to deploy.
So in the real-time production,
Mm-hmm.
if there is anything that new item has to be, for example, say for a car industry, there could be a new thing item has to be included which they forgot. So in the production, they have to order it. So if we do it, like for example, 10 or 15 by this EFF, so is that production performance we may go down, or because it's being on a cloud, it does not affect anything. Only the thing is to take a lot of time.
It will definitely go down when you just do this deployment and all. It will use the number of resources. Actually, for each and every system and the instance sizing which you take, they will say number of resources you can just use it. For example, you are just creating an attribute group and you are attaching it to a root item class. Already you have 1 lakh item or there. You created some, like as I said, you created some 10 new context and you created some 20 additional attributes. And there are already 1 lakh items are there. You attached that to the root item class. When you just deploy it, you just think 10 lakh records should be created in an additional table, and that might take 2 hours or 3 hours, and it will consume most of the resources in the system. So if anybody try to search an item, it will say no more resources to service. It will give that error message to everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, if it's also based on the sizing of the environment. Yeah. Like if you talk to Oracle will tell what is the sizing of your environment, what is the number of resources. Maximum, the Oracle will say maximum 50 resources you can just use. So there is a profile option is also available in the item profile option, number of resources it can consume. Like in case if you want more resources, then if you request Oracle will just resize the environment. Instead of 50 resources, they will give 100 resources. For that, they will additionally charge the customer. That is also possible. If you want to often do that activity, then you have to resize the environment as well. Okay, so now the deployment is completed successfully. I will, in case if you do any error in this, the deployment will go into error. So now let me do one thing. I'll just clear the cache. First, let me just log out. Let me just sign out from this instance. And then I'll just clear the cache, close the browser, and then open it again. So all these things you have to do. If you just sign out and sign in, it will not give you the output. In EFF, we should be very, very careful. Go to history. Where is it? Go to history, and in the history, where is it? You go to history and then you clear the cache. Clear browsing history. Last 24 hours. Clear data. Once you clear it, close it completely. Okay, so now let me go to b30 underscore pim underscore manager. Password is welcome 123. So now if you go into the item which is having the B30 electronics item class, you should be able to see the difference, or you should be able to see the attributes. Go to product management, product information management. Go to manage items. So we have used the item class called B30 electronics, I think, for all this item. Okay, so for every item it should have. So now let me go to B30 first item. So go to specifications. So DFF will be available in additional attributes, but you can see the EFF which we created will be available in the new page which we have created, B30 laptop attribute page. So click on the B30 laptop attribute page, and under that you can see B30 laptop attributes, and you can see B30 RAM will be displayed. So in case if you have, and if inside that page you added 10 context, then all 10 context will be displayed. Under each and every context, what are all the attributes, everything will be displayed over here. So that's the difference between DFF and EFF. In DFF, you can select only one context per item. But here in EFF, you can add any number of context, unlimited number of context you can add. Under one context, maximum 30 character attribute, and then 20 number attribute, 10 date attribute, and then 5 timestamp attribute. Everything you can just add under one attribute group. So that's why we are saying it's practically unlimited number of attributes you can create whenever you use the EFF attributes. Is it clear? Any questions here? And are you able to identify the difference between the DFF and EFF?
Can you explain again on this page? Just this one, the page which you added. So we are in the in the specification, we have that page. Again, when you're telling that you can add it a number of things. Where do we add? Oh, okay. Yeah, it should be done.
Where we have added the attribute group to item class.
Not by the user. Okay. This user doesn't have access to this, but he can able to see that when you click on the page.
Right. So this user, yeah, correct. This user don't have access. So when you go into that, when you go into the item class page, you can, like we created one attribute group and attribute, you can create 10 attribute group and 100 attributes. You have to attach it to the corresponding item class. You have to attach it to the same page. One page can have n number of attribute groups you can add. So when you just click on this attribute page, you can see all the attribute groups and attributes. Let me show you an example. Here you can see when I go into the inventory attribute, you see this is a page. Inventory is a page. Material control is a group. Lot is a group. Child lot is a group. Grade control is a group. So under that you see n number of attributes. Similar to that, we can also create n number of attribute groups and n number of attributes for here.
Got it.
Okay. So this is okay. So this is the difference. So what in last two sessions we have seen the differences between DFF and EFF and how to set up the descriptive flex fields, value sets, and how to set up the extensible flex fields, attach it to the item class, and then deployment. So this is what we have seen in 2 sessions. So just practice it and let me know if you have any questions.
Hey Ram, one more question. In the when you do the contest attributes, at the final thing you have selected called display properties, the ratio of that. Where does that, what is the significance of that?
So here you can see we have selected it as 10 character. So this will be small. If you enter it as 30 character, the field size will be big. That will affect the field display size. That's all.
Okay. And also you have given some ratio, no? On that page.
Ratio.
No, not ratio. Display properties. So this is what for the field you have given the display properties for the content. Am I correct?
Right, yes.
Okay. We have this option in PeopleSoft new image and 30. It's called page composer.
Okay.
That's what we do it on the page. We create our own fields and then the definition of all these details based. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Ram, you deployed the flex field, the extensible flex field, right? So the deploy will also call as enable it, or that is a different.
No, we will call it as only deployment.
Okay.
We have to call it as deployment only. When you face any issue, also we have to talk to Oracle as a deployment getting into error. Likewise, only we have to raise a defect or raise an SR. That's called deployment only.
So in which case we will be enabling the EFF?
There is okay. So enabling means sometimes you, for example, you have 10 attributes under that. You don't want one attribute. What you can do is within that attribute group and attribute, you will be able to disable or enable a particular field. That is possible. Go to manage attribute group and attribute. Whenever you disable or enable, you have to basically like deploy it once again. Let me go to this laptop attribute and click on edit. And here I am going into this B30 RAM attribute. Here you can see there is a enable checkbox is there. Likewise, you can enable or disable a particular field. You have 10 field, out of one field is not required for the business. You can just disable it and save it, and again you have to deploy it. That's called as enabling or disabling.
Okay. So if it is enable is not checked and you have deployed it, so still
then you will not be able to see that field in front end.
Okay. So the enable is must.
Enable is a must. Yes, enable is a must. By default, enable checkbox will be enabled whenever you open this page itself. Wantedly, if you want to disable, then only it get disabled. Okay.
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 So Ram, in next class, what we are going to cover?
Sorry. In next session, we will just cover the FBDA, file-based data import, and then item mass update. So these concepts are the new item request and change order, item rules. So these are all the 5-6 concepts. Then the next 4 session, we will be completing our product management module. Next 4 session, it will take another 4 sessions.
Okay, Ram.
Okay.
Ram, I have a small doubt. Like, how do you differentiate attribute and segments, Ram? I'm frankly speaking,
both are same.
Much of technical knowledge.
Okay. So attribute, group, and context both are same. In the back end also, you will have the column name like you will have a column name like you will have a column name like context, and then you have attribute underscore character 1 and then character 2. Likewise, this is how it will be there. Attribute underscore character 2.
Contents are nothing but segments, is it?
No. Context is not the segment.
Okay.
This is the segment. Attribute underscore character 1 is a segment. The context is this is the attribute group. Attribute group and context both are same. Attribute group and context both are same. These are all called as the segments. Attribute underscore character 1, attribute underscore character 2, or attribute underscore number 1. These are all called as the segments.
Okay. No, what exactly is the difference? See, my technical knowledge is zero, Ram. I'm basically.
Okay. So attribute group is nothing but So if you come to the front end, it will be very easy for you to understand. So let me go to the inventory. Only the segment will hold a value. The attribute group or context will just group the attributes. That's all. The material control is a group. Inventory item is a segment, and this only will hold a value in the backend. This is just a grouping.
Okay.
Attribute group is just a group, just to group multiple attributes together, and only the segment or the attribute only will hold a value. It can be yes or no, it can be a value, character value, it can be a number value, anything it can be. Just it will hold a value.
Okay. And Ram, suppose we are asked a question like, what is the difference like DFF and EFF? Why it is used? How do we explain in short term?
Like you have to whatever we have seen in our yesterday's session. If you just see that I have given complete
the whole explanation.
Yeah, you have to tell all the things. Security wise, there is a difference.
Okay.
You can in item if you use the DFF, one segment or one context per item is possible. In EFF, multiple contexts per item is possible. And then what else? So maximum 30 characters is possible in DFF, but in EFF, since multiple contexts can be used, practically unlimited number of things can be used, unlimited number of attributes can be used. So likewise, these are all the changes. To go by this Excel sheet whichever I shown, that I have listed down everything. Go by that, then you will get it.
Sure. Thanks, Ram.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, fine then. So we'll take a pause here and we'll continue tomorrow with the item mass update in FPDA. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Ram.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ram.